Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Nike Renew Elevate 3. So this shoe is going for 80 bucks, and the Renew Elevate 1 and, well, I didn't try the 2, but the 1 was absolutely amazing. It was in a lot of lists, even though it was only 80 bucks. So will the Renew Elevate 3 live up to that hype? We'll have to see on that. But if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But let's get started off with the Tracciones. In this colorway, we have a black solid rubber outsole. It's pretty much herringbone, but kind of like widens out here in the heel, and we have a little swirly circle here in the middle of the forefoot. It's a pretty cool design. How does the traction perform? So at first, it wasn't that nice. It wasn't an amazing bite either, but I had to break it in. It took me like a couple of days to break in, but once I did, the squeak actually got pretty loud. It's not the loudest squeak ever, but it's pretty squeaky, right? And once I broke it in, the traction on a clean court was actually pretty good. I wouldn't say it's top tier though. I would say it's, if top tier is like 5 out of 5, I put it around like 3.5 to 4. Right? It's still a solid bite. Also, if you're playing on a dusty court, it's probably not the best option. It does pick up dust and it picks it up pretty quickly, so you're gonna have to wipe frequently, but the wipe is pretty easy. It's like a very easy slight wipe or two. You just go boom boom and you're good to go and you have good stops again. But like I said, if you're playing on a really dirty court, you're gonna have to wipe pretty often, so just be careful on that. If you don't mind wiping, then you should be fine in the Renew Elevate 3. Also, for durability, you should be fine as well. I mean, the rubber is super hard and the grooves are deep, and yeah, it's a cheaper shoe also. So I mean, for outdoor use, it should be fine. So my overall experience with the traction on this shoe, it was good, you know. But of course, there are better options, like my backup shoes, like the PG6, the MB1, the Curry 9, the 282, Zoom Separate, Harden Volume 6, those are all top tier tractions, and of course I take those as backup shoes. And when I was switching into those, I was like, yo, this is a lot nicer. I was having better bites and I didn't have to wipe as often. So that was just like something that I noticed. And of course, it wasn't annoying when I was playing in the Renew Elevate, just because, you know, I'm used to wiping. But when I switched the shoes, I was like, oh, yo, this is so much better. I definitely did notice a difference there, right? Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition. Overall, very smooth, right? So here in the heel, nice curve shape, pretty much fully exposed heel, right? So we have a nice soft compression in the heel, and here in the forefoot, super curve shape and a lot of forefoot flex, right? So when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, it feels very smooth, and I really like it, especially comparing it to like a stiff soled shoe, right? So there's that. Moving on to the cushioning setup, we have full length Renew, right? And I'm guessing it is dual density, just like in the Renew Elevate 1 and 2, just because of the different pattern, right, on the actual midsole, and it's like a different color as well. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully the camera's picking it up, but it is a different color. This is like a lighter or like darker gray, and this is just black, right? But anyways, the Renew Elevate 1 was absolutely amazing. Like, it was soft, there was a nice little subtle bounce, you know, step and comfort was great, good impact protection, but also great core feel. But here in the Renew Elevate 3, it doesn't live up to that hype. It's not as nice, you know, there's not as much compression, it's not as soft, there's a nice little subtle bounce though, but not as nice as the Renew Elevate 1, right? So definitely this shoe has a nice cushioning setup comparing it to like other cheaper shoes, you know, like the Precision 5 or Precision 6, that's out like Nike's budget lines. But if you're comparing it to like really nice cushioning setups like the PG6 with the full length React, or like the Zoom Separate or the Harden Volume 6, it doesn't really compete as well, right? So if you're looking for a responsive cushioning setup with a little bit of compression, like it's a little bit softer than like Phylon, I would say, especially here in the heel, then I guess it's pretty good, you know. But if you wanted like a nice cushioning setup like in the Renew Elevate 1 and 2, then the 3 is a little bit of a letdown there, but it's still pretty nice though, you know. It's overall low to the ground, you get pretty good impact protection, although if you're doing hard impacts, it's not the best. Your feet are gonna hurt a little bit. So there is the cushioning setup there. Moving on to the material, so we have a pretty nice like textile mesh type of material. It's super thin, look at that, super thin, very soft. It conforms to your foot extremely well. So I really like how like soft and comfortable it is on foot. For the tongue, we have a very minimal padding as well as here in the ankle area. So overall, when you have the shoe on, it feels really minimal, right? There's no like padding or foam in the material to make it like cozy. So if you want a very minimal feeling material that conforms to your foot very, very well, then this is a great material. As far as the quality goes though, quality also is pretty nice. You know, quality felt pretty good for like $80 shoe. And I guess it is better than the Renew Elevate 1, which was like a pretty cheap like mesh material. So overall, I did like the materials, especially on foot, but we'll get into support though. All right, moving on to the fit. I went true to size and it fits me pretty well, but this material did stretch out a good amount, right? So as far as the toe space goes, it does stretch out and did get a good amount roomier. So I didn't really like that as much. It's still not super annoying to the point where like my foot was going like around here in the toe box, like moving around a lot, but just because, you know, I do like a very snug fit in the toe box, but it still was like not as tight as I would like. So I guess if you want like a roomier fit, then this is a great option. Also width wise, I would say it's around normal width, right? So because of that like normal width, and I do have a narrow foot, my foot was kind of like moving around inside of the shoe a little bit as well, which I did not like. Lengthwise, I was good to go true to size though, right? So I guess if you want a roomier fit, then this is a great option. But if you want a snug fit, like in the KD13 or the Kyrie 7s, then this definitely is not the best option. Alright, moving on to the support and lockdown. So for lateral containment, I was good to go for the most part, right? So if you guys can see, just from like on paper, it looks good, right? So here in the forefoot, we have this, it's like a rubber piece, right? And we have a little bit of fuse around that as well. So this acts as a sidewall here in the forefoot, which is nice, right? And then here in the heel, we have the foam coming up and an internal TPU heel counter. But like I said, this material is super soft, right? And it kind of like rolls over on itself a little bit. And also the width wasn't as like narrow as I would like. So my foot was also moving inside of the shoe just a tiny bit. So because of that, it didn't feel as responsive as I would have liked. And also for lateral containment, it wasn't as responsive either, just because the material was rolling over on itself just a tiny bit, right? I would say it's a little bit worse than the PG6. The PG6 I definitely didn't mind, right? But the Renew Elevate 3 just a little bit more. So if you're like a heavier dude, like I'm a pretty light dude, so if you're heavier, you're probably gonna feel it a lot more than me. So if you want a very supportive shoe, then this definitely is not the best option. But if you're lighter, then you should be fine, right? As far as the ankle support goes, definitely not the best. I mean, this is pretty much a mid-top shoe. It does go over your ankle bone as far as this material goes, but I still had good ankle mobility and didn't really feel like I had a whole lot of ankle support. So if you're looking for ankle support, this also is not the best option. As far as lateral stability goes though, I mean, it's gonna be very, very, look at that. Look at how freaking wide it is, and look at how sharp it is too, as far as the outrigger goes. So lateral stability, I was good to go. I really didn't have any issues. And also another thing that's pretty interesting is that like we also have a little bit of an outrigger for the heel, which we don't really see all too often, but that's nice to see as well, right? So there's that. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, this shoe is actually quite light. So you guys all know budget shoes are on the lighter side of things. I'm guessing like what? Yeah, 10.37 ounces, super duper light. Let's check the other pair, 10.58 ounces. So very, very lightweight shoe. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So when you have the shoe on foot, it feels extremely light and very, very minimal as far as the overall upper goes as well. As far as responsiveness goes though, I didn't feel super quick in it, right? Just because of like not as good support, especially on lateral containment. My foot was moving around inside of the shoe a little bit as well, just because it is a little bit wider than I would like. And also the traction isn't top tier, right? It's a solid traction though, but it's not top tier. So because of those reasons, I didn't feel as responsive as like a shoe, for example, like the 2A2, the Curry 9, what else? You know, the Harden Volume 6, all of those I feel extremely quick in. This, not as responsive as those shoes, right? All right, moving on to the ventilation. Ventilation is all right. There is a little bit of airflow through this like textile mesh material, but not a whole lot, but it is a thin material, so it doesn't keep in heat that well. So overall, the ventilation was like on the cooler side of things. Moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. I don't really like all black shoes all too much, but the overall design and silhouette looks great. And the other colorways that have come out also look pretty damn sick. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, Did I like it? Yeah, I did enjoy playing in it somewhat, but like I did have to take backup shoes, right? So sometimes when I'm testing a shoe and I really like it, I'm just like, I don't really need to take any backup shoes. You know what I mean? Like, these are my backup shoes. These are super good performers. So me taking backup shoes means that I didn't really enjoy it as much, you know, like I wanted to play in something else like the PG6 or the Kyrie's or whatever, right? So it isn't like a top tier performer, and it's also like not gonna be heavily in my rotation, but if you're trying to save money, like 80 bucks is super cheap, this is a great option. You know what I mean? Of course, just be careful on support, especially if you're a heavier dude. But other than that, I feel like most people should be fine, and you'll probably enjoy it if you're trying to save money, right? But like I said, there are better options out there. And if you want to spend like $20, $30 more, you can get like the Zoom Separate. You know, the PG6 also is 110 bucks. So those are definitely options. But anyways, this concludes my review of the Nike Renew Elevate 3. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.